Okay, to use Adobe Photoshop to change your image, you need to open it up. You will go to File, Open, find an image that you like. Let's see. Let's go to something from, right, say like, it should open up shortly. Okay, there's my image. Now this is an image of a magpie, and the first thing you were told to do was to go up to Image and Image Size, and there you've got what you're going to change it to. Now what we're going to do, I've already been in there, but we need to change, yours is probably coming up as inches, you'll need to change it to percentage, and we'll change it to pixels per centimetre. And what we're going to do is we're going to reduce this image by make it 30% of what it was. Okay, so it is a now much smaller image. So I'm going to go File, Save As, save it to my computer, and okay, that's my small one. Now what I would suggest, now we want it to be, it says it's quality 8, high, you've got an option of low, medium, high or maximum. Leave it at high. Later on you're going to change this to something else. So we'll OK that. Now if we go into the image, I should have set this up differently. So what I want is this one. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it Digitech. I'm going to find I'm going to take this one and I'm going to copy to and put it into saved pictures. And I'm going to take my small picture and dump that in there too. Okay, so now you've got the original. So we're going to call this so we now have two. We have the original and we have the smaller one. So I think we'll rename that. Now we changed it to 30%, so you could put 30 PC, so you remember it. So Magpie 30%. Now how do you fill out that table? Well, if you go up to View, you can look at Details. You can see here the original was this size, and you can have high quality. The smaller 30% makes it quite a bit smaller. So those are the things that you put into your file. Now you can also look up properties by right-clicking and look up the properties. So to get the information or the rest of the information for your table, you'll need to click on. Now there's your original. If we click on that, open it up, right click, you can go down to properties. Here you find all the information you need. Now this tells you the dimensions, height by width, so it's 5184 by 3888 pixels with a DPI of 180. So that's in the last column of your table. If you go up to general, there's the megabytes. This is a really useful way of checking out what information your photo contains, because you see here it's a JPEG format. It tells you when you took the photo, when you modified it last. You can find out various other details as well and add in details if you need to. Your photos actually have a lot of information behind them and can say a lot. So when you bear that in mind and check out what sort of details are in behind your photograph when you upload them onto the internet. So that's the size of that. And if we go in to the smaller one and we look up the properties, you'll see much smaller number of pixels, smaller DPI, and the smaller kilobytes. So that's how you get the information to fill out your table. So if we go back to our table, the original size you'd put in there. Our original size was 6479 kilobytes. It says megabytes, so I accept kilobytes. Your reduced image, so the file size is now 373 kilobytes. The image, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Reduction was, we made it 30%. And this is the number of pixels. So when you go into properties, you'll give the pixels, so height by width. So that's H by width. Okay, so you do not use this photo again. You must go back in, File, you're going to open, you're going to find the original file again, and this time you will do the so you're going to go to Image, Mode, and Index Color. The one after that is File, Save As, and then select the quality setting. So you're going to save one as a JPEG, the highest quality, and then a lower quality, which is what I was showing you when you go up to Image. You can do image size, you can do mode, you can change the color here. So play around with this and try some different things out. See what sorts of things you can come up with file size. And you just work your way through. Make sure you keep your original separate, and every time you go to save it, save as and call it version 2, version 3, or whatever. Okay, so that is filling out this. So everything, as I said, in the italics is what you have to do. Save it as a GIF, try saving it as a TIFF, save it as a PNG, save it as a bitmap. And there, as I said before, over here, file size is pixels, or resolution if you'd like to as well. Okay, so that we won't need to worry about. We'll go back into our PowerPoint. Once you've played around with all your file sizes, you can move on to the next thing. This may take you more than one session. So as I said, we're doing 3 sessions on compression. So don't worry. If you can get the image compression done this lesson, and then next lesson we'll do some work on text compression, and there's another lesson on tidying things up. Okay, text compression is slightly different from image compression. If you download lots and lots of programs and files off the internet, you've probably encountered zip files. This compression system is very handy, and especially for web users, it lets you reduce the overall number of bits and bytes in a file, so it can be transmitted faster over internet connections, and it'll take up less space on your memory. Once you download a file, your computer uses a program such as WinZip or various other ones, 7-Zip, WinRAR, and they expand the file back to its original size. If everything works correctly, the original, when you unzip it, it will be exactly the way it was before it was compressed. So you may think a Word document doesn't take up much space, but we have thousands, millions, billions, trillions of files. So even text files need to be reduced. And we just need to understand how we reduce the number of bits and bytes, and then how we get them back later. We do this by using algorithms. If you remember last year, we looked at algorithms. So we have algorithms that take and remove data, and then if the receiver knows the algorithm, they'll be able to then get their image back. One way text compression works is by removing repeated occurrences in a file. And that's the most basic way of compressing it. Most computer files have a lot of fairly redundant information in them. They have the same information, same words listed over and over. The compression program simply gets rid of the repeat, the redundancy. So instead of listing a piece of information many times, it lists that information once and then refers back to it whenever it appears. So, for instance, if you have letters E, E, G, 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 H, H, S, J, 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 I, you have 3 E's, 2 E's, 3 G's, 2 H's, 1 S, 3 J's, 1 I. So instead of writing it all out separately, you could put 2E, 3G, 2H, S, 3J, I. Now, admittedly, that doesn't save much space, but if you've got lots and lots of letters, then it really would make a difference. So that's called RLE, run length encoding. Another one is dictionary compression, and it assigns particular symbols or letters, numbers, whatever, to a word and removes it from the text, and then uses that dictionary later on to build the file back up again. Now we'll be playing around with that in the next lesson. So the best thing to do is text files are lossless, so nothing is lost. If you have the same dictionary, you can pull it back together exactly the way it was before it was decompressed. So that's lossless. Nothing is lost in the compression. Images, lossy, means that data has been changed and lost and cannot be brought back. So that's the main point of this lesson. Next lesson we'll look a bit more closely at text compression. Good luck, boys.